Alright, boys and girls. So we are out here today in good old Chicago. And it is 5 o'clock. You know how they say it's 5 o'clock somewhere? It's 5 o'clock here. This is not the time to be here, by any means. But it does give me a reasonably good excuse to run my mouth over the internet. So I guess I'll do a little bit of that. How to deal with traffic in a semi. Hold on here. There we go. How to deal with traffic. Basically, the main thing is don't hit anything. That's your main concern. And that might sound very easy, but you got to remember that you are quite a little bit wider in a car, not quite a bit, just a little bit, maybe a foot total wider, but then you're 70 feet long, something like that, whatever, give or take, and depending on what you're doing or whatever. Anyway, anywhere from 30,000 to 80,000 pounds, and you're running around cars that are a ton, like 2,000 pounds, that's it, something like that, most cars, maybe a little bit more, I guess. I don't know, I haven't checked up on the weight of a car lately, and this is especially in Chicago. I don't know what it is about Chicago. I do go through Chicago a lot, so maybe I'm just jaded or whatever the right word is, disposed to having a negative opinion of it. But I've been to New York too. I've been through Atlanta a couple of times, and I guess that those are some pretty large cities. I mean, this is common for any large city is traffic like this. But for Chicago, these people, I think I've said this before, but these people will risk their life to get into another lane. And if you've driven through Chicago in a semi, you know this to be true. They barely look, and then they just go. They throw on a blinker for a second, and they're gone. And your horn will more than likely get a pretty reasonable workout in Chicago. At least it does for me. Okay, we'll turn that down. But, oh man, especially in a manual, traffic is a little more difficult because gears and such. If you have an automatic, I had an automatic for about a month, and this was right after I got my CDL, and I was like, ooh, this is kind of nice to just, all you gotta do is push a pedal and keep it going straight, and that's kind of nice. But I don't know, I like the feeling of shifting gears, and it becomes a problem when you are in traffic like this, because you're going high side, low side, switching between different gears. The ratios on a semi-truck are not very long. You got it's basically, 900 RPM? That's it. That's all you got is 900 RPM to get the engine up to the top of the gear and then go to the next one. So basically, when you're going real slow like this, it's a lot of changing gears and messing around and doing all this stuff. No one's going to let you into their lane, ever. I mean, you might run across some nice people, but generally speaking, you just have to be an opportunist. When you see an opening, and this is probably not what they're going to tell you in training at all, and this is not what they told us in training at all either, is when you see an opening that works and is acceptable, you take it, unless it's a truck. That's not what you want to do with your life, is cut off a truck or something like that. And I wouldn't recommend cutting off a car that's, doing a crazy speed or something like that. Like, just for example, if I wanted to get over to this middle lane here, this one over to our right over yonder, if I wanted to get over there, you can see it's pretty well blocked up. But if I saw an opening, see how there's an opening in front of that, well, no, that's not gonna work. But you get what I'm saying, is when you see the opening that you need, you better take it. And sometimes you have to be a bit of an aggressive driver, and I say that with caution because you want to keep in the back of your mind that you're meant to be the professional out here, and all of these people, they drive the equivalent of what you drive in a month in a year. So they have no idea, well, they've got a reasonable idea what's going on, but they have no idea that, like, you're trying the best that you can with what knowledge you have to make this happen. And now there's a little trick that I have, I guess, learned or picked up, whatever the heck I guess you want to call it, for getting into lanes that will not let you in. Sometimes you have to do it. There's nothing that you can do. You just messed up. You have to get over to that lane. You didn't know you needed to be there beforehand, and people just won't let you over. Like, if I just threw on my blinker and wanted to get over, it would probably take me at this speed, it would probably take me a quarter mile or a half a mile just for someone to let me in or find a gap that was acceptable for me to jump into. But oh God, I can't believe I'm putting this out on the internet. But the trick that I have learned is what I like to call putting pressure on the lane. And I'll explain this briefly and we'll gloss over it. Basically, God damn it, I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is just how it happens. Drivers know that this is how it happens. You gotta get somewhere, yada yada yada. But it's basically where you just start drifting you don't go all the way into the lane. You don't look like you're gonna, like, just run into someone. You just start inching your truck towards the edge of a lane. You're staying in your lane, but you got your blinker on, and you inch over towards the side of your lane. And most times, people will realize that either they think, okay, this guy's coming in. He doesn't care what I think. He's coming in, so I better back off, or we're about to get into an accident here. Either they think that, or they're like, okay, this guy, genuinely messed up. He really has to go somewhere. I don't need to be, that terribly rude that I won't let this guy in, just, inconvenience myself just a touch. Man, this construction doesn't help either. God. I understand it's the end of construction season, but this construction does not help at all. Oh man. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I come through Chicago so much that, like, I don't know. I understand where this traffic is about to lift up. Like, once you go through a bigger city enough times, you understand how much more suck you have to endure. Going through New York or Atlanta, which are two cities that I don't know but I have been to. I don't really know that much about Chicago. I've been down a couple of streets in the city, but like 94, 294, I understand what's going on. I know which lanes I need. I know where the point of no return is for a lot of this stuff. And that just takes repetition, I think, or whatever. Like, just having a little bit of a good memory. But like New York, Atlanta, other places like such that are just large cities. There we go. Had to find me a gear. You basically have no idea what's going on, and it's gonna show for sure. I remember the last time I went to New York. I mean, every time I've been to New York, I think it's only been like 2 or 3 times, something like that. Not that many times, but every time that I've been over there, it seems like I've been going a different way, like into the city and over to the other side. And I don't think I've ever actually stopped in the city, which is great. Like, I don't actually want to stop in the city, so keep that rolling. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, whatever. But it's a city that I have no idea about, so I'm paying attention to signs a lot. Now here, I understand what's going on. I know where interchanges are that become a problem. Like I know once we get up, what is that, like 2 miles? 3? Maybe 3 to 4 miles ahead. What interchange is that? Like the 88 or something like that? 88? I don't know about the 88. 88, 290, something like that. Whatever it is. Yeah, definitely 290, 88, whatever they got going on out there. That is an issue, and I understand like all of that. I understand which lanes I need, all of that good stuff. But I remember the first times that I came here, it was like, you know, the whole thing is a mystery. You don't know how anything works. You just pay attention to the signs. And GPS is going to say whatever it wants to. Pay attention to where the GPS wants you to go, like stay on route, obviously. But roadsides don't lie, okay? That's what I'm saying. Got to understand where you're going to. If you're really nervous about going through a big city, I would recommend looking at a map. Like a real deal, what do they call that? I think it's a Trucker Atlas. I can't remember the exact brand of it, but I have one in the truck. It doesn't come out very often, but, you know, I don't know. My GPS system is very, very good. It's incredibly good, but it's been out a couple of times. I can't remember the exact name. It might be a Rand McNally map, actually. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But if you're really nervous, I would suggest doing that so you know, like, the general layout at a bird's eye view of what this city is going to be like. I don't even think I did that for New York when I went through the first time. I just was like, okay, I know it's gonna suck, and I'm just gonna send it, and oh boy, and it's gonna be whatever. But as you can see, traffic is cleared up. This does not mean that you're out of the clear. You notice how before, and I mean, I wasn't really paying attention to what's going on the screen or anything, but I'm sure that you could tell that I prefer to keep distance even when traffic is moving. You never know if someone just cuts into a lane and they have to slam on their brakes, or, you know, it just anything happens. Hey Mikey, you got your ears on? Oh shit, I missed him. One of my buddies was on the other side of the highway there. Just caught him out of the corner of my eye. But yeah, what was I saying now? Oh yeah, you just keeping your distance even when you're moving. You see how right now, how much space I have down that lane? I can kind of peek over and understand what y'all are seeing. This is about as close as I really want to get, especially 5 o'clock Chicago shit. I understand that this is about to slow down again once we get up around this corner. Yeah, maybe a little further down the way, but generally speaking, if it's slow traffic, you want to keep your distance until you know for a fact that you're in the clear. You can put the hammer down, start slamming gears. You don't want to get to doing that until you know it's the right time to be doing that. I don't know. I mean, experienced drivers already know all this crap. This is this is pretty basic stuff, and most of the stuff your company would probably teach you to be way more cautious than you'll eventually realize you have to be, or how do you want to say that? Your company's going to teach you to be way overly cautious as a new driver because, you know, it makes a lot of sense. You want to be way more cautious because you don't exactly know, like, what's going on with the truck. You have to pay attention to what's happening. You don't really fully understand how do you want to say this without being a dick? Jesus. I don't know. You have to pay attention to what you're doing when you're a less... Oh boy, now I'm really getting into a tight spot here. I'll say it. you have to pay way more attention when you're a less experienced driver, because you don't really understand like the physics of how, you know, a truck turns, and you know, your tail might swing out too far, or you might stick it into a lane and it might just be sitting there and you're being a rude person for leaving it stick out there. And I'm not saying that I'm the most experienced person in the world. I got like a year and a half, a little over, but a year and a half experience. I have no idea what's going on according to most people out here, and I'm sure that in a year I'm going to be like, wow, that kid was an idiot. But I do understand basics at this point. You know, that's something that makes sense. But yeah, as you can see, we're sort of cleared up. The goal of traffic is not to get through it fast. If you see a lane that's moving a little faster than you, you know, look for an opening. Don't do anything crazy. If you want to get over there, you know, this is all basic stuff, but basically in traffic, you got to remember that everyone doesn't want to be in traffic. So you need to be on high alert that someone's about to do something stupid and, you know, possibly cause an accident if you're not paying attention fully or what have you. But yeah, that is the traffic situation, I guess. I'm sure that I left something out of there that is quite important. I don't know. Keep distance, but don't be that person that's keeping like 100 yards of distance. Like, I mean, right now this is probably 100 yards of distance right here, but we're doing 55. Like back when we were going a little slower, I did not have that much distance. Don't be the person that is holding up traffic. Stay with the flow of traffic, but don't be getting pushy. That's what I'm really trying to say here. What are we doing? Now this is the spot that I was talking about where I'm probably gonna slow it back down. But yeah, I suppose I can let y'all go. Traffic. How to deal with it. I don't know. I think everyone's got their different tactics or what have you. Most people just send it and start jumping into the faster lane, and then that turns into the slow lane, and they're back in the other lane, and blah, blah, blah. And I don't want to be in this lane. God dang it. Oh well. It is what it is. So yeah, I'll let y'all go. So y'all have a good one. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.